Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of the TBL. Here, the New York Empoleons are going to be taking on the South County Scolipedes, coached by Coach Soul. Good long-term viewer on my Twitch channel and a great guy. So he didn't have the best luck last week, so hopefully we don't see a ton of hacks this week. But as we can see, the team I'm expecting to bring: Zapdos, Tapu Fini, Gudra, Pelipper, Rotom Heat, and Mega Swampert. Now, I could see him going without the rain. I could see him bringing the Mandibuzz, bringing the Scrafty, things like that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get him, get online, get him on the battle, and we will come back as soon as I find him. So, be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. We are here. We are ready to go. We've got him online, and we are getting ready for week 2 of the TBL. Now, let's see officially what he's going to bring. What is he locking himself into? He's got Tapu Fini. He does not bring the rain. So I was wondering if he'd bring the rain. He does not bring the rain. So he is afraid of my Pokemon in the rain, and that's okay. We do have answers to most of his team. And from what I see, Tapu Fini and Zapdos are his potential defoggers. Let me correct the Pokemon you see on the screen right now. So we do not see the Gudra. Instead, we see the Vileplume, which is an interesting one to bring instead of a Gudra, but I'm not going to complain. We don't see the Pelipper. Pelipper is being replaced by a Jinx, which has the dry skin, but I don't have any water type attacks, so that's probably not going to matter. And we don't see the Mega Swampert. We see Weezing. So, in all honesty, his team has opened up a pretty big rock-type weakness, and so I kind of want to lead with my Infernape. Now, I also want to lead with my Mega Venusaur and get its Mega Evolution off, just to make sure the Rotom Heat can't really just spam attacks as freely. He does see that I don't have the Marowak, so Rotom Heat and Zapdos both have free Volt Switches, which I don't love, but that's how I prep. There's nothing I can do about it now. So, in the meantime, I'm thinking that my best lead is definitely going to be the Infernape. It has the Focus Sash if it needs it. And we can get this going. So Infernape's going to lead. We're going to see what he brings out to start. It could be the Zapdos or the Fini. Those are the two things I really don't want to see. Rotom Heat wouldn't be ideal either. So if it's the Fini, I do have the Gunk Shot. Because Japan, the Jinx. All right, so let's take a look at what we do to a Jinx. He could be Focus Sashed. Jinx, which may be his only chance of surviving in close combat. It's totally his only chance of surviving in close combat. The other thing I could do is go for a Rock Slide straight off the bat, expecting him to go out into anything. Fini, Gunk Shot has a chance to OHKO too, but I think Rock Slide is the right play. If he is Focus Sashed and does take the Rock Slide, he was Focus Sashed Jinx last week, so it makes me think he might run it again. And I do like having my Sash intact, but I do outspeed everything on his team anyway, so I'm just going to click Rock Slide here. So he's Scarfed. He's Choice Scarfed. No, you may not be Scarfed. His Jinx actually could outspeed my Infernape naturally because I didn't put max speed into this Infernape. That's fine. I do remember Jinx was another thing I was like, oh, I don't think he's going to bring it, so I'm not going to prep for it as much. Infernape's asleep, and I don't like that. Don't like that at all. But Noctali has the Heal Bell, so I can just go straight out into it. And this Jinx really doesn't threaten a Umbreon. Even with a Focus Blast, I don't think this thing does that much to an Umbreon. Let's look at Jinx versus Umbreon with a Focus Blast. Yeah, Focus Blast is doing like 50%, so, and sometimes not even. So, one thing he could do, he just showed Shadow Ball, so that's good information to have. I'm not sure what he predicted there, probably for me to go out into my Gardevoir. So I could just Foul Play here, which is super effective, and OHKO is a Jinx, apparently. And I expect him to go into the Fini here, honestly. I think the play might be just go for the heal bell when he goes out into the Finny here, because he can't stay in. There's no way he stays in. He does have the Focus Blast. He does go for it. He misses it. So we're just going to go for the heal bell. Now that does free up his opportunity to go for another Lovely Kiss here. Which is what it is. You know, if something has to be asleep, honestly, I think it's probably Umbreon. Nothing else. I don't want anything else asleep right now. So let's just go for that foul play here. If he goes for the Lovely Kiss and lands it, that's fine. Umbreon goes to sleep. But we burn off a turn of sleep anyway through use of the from going second. And foul play has a solid shot to Oko this thing, which could be Sash, so it wouldn't hurt to get the damage off anyway. And it sort of depends on his spread too. Like it has a 30% chance to Oko this thing if it's max HP. But he's got clearly a ton of speed investment. Because he outsped my Infernape. And my Infernape has a decent amount of speed investment. My Infernape is designed to outspeed modest Zapdos. So, I think he's trying to figure out what to do here, what I'm going to do here. That would have been a decent chance to just click Foul Play, especially since he missed the Focus Blast. So he does go for a Lovely Kiss. He does land it, and that's okay. Umbreon, I prefer Umbreon to be asleep than Infernape to be asleep. And so we're actually going to stay in and burn a second turn of sleep here and just go for Foul Play. He can go for Focus Blast if he wants. I'm not going to concern myself with it too much. There's really not a safe switch into this thing with the moveset I've seen, Shadow Ball and Focus Blast, and I'm assuming a Psychic type attack, which will hit the Mega Venusaur. And so there's not a great switch into this thing. There's not an easy chance for me to just get another Pokemon in here. So I'm just going to stay in with Umbreon and try to wake up and get off a huge foul play when the time comes. So he does go for the Shadow Ball. I think he's expecting me to switch out my Umbreon. Gets a crit. I wake up. I get the foul play off. That's big. That'll take this thing down to Sash most likely. Or it's got some speed and bulk investment. So it's not specially offensively bred. Just trained. Which is fine. That means Focus Blast is going to be doing less than I was expecting it to. And at that point, I mean, Toxic doesn't do much to his team. He's got Tapu Fini and Weezing and Vileplume, but he also has the Rotom Heat and the Zapdos that don't appreciate it. So he goes with Focus Blast. He lands this one. That's okay. We're going to take out the Jinx. And yeah, we're going to eat that up anyway. So we're going to take out the Jinx here. And that's actually a big threat out of my way. It's a fast Pokemon on his team. Gets me, gets Umbreon. Umbreon gets the first kill of the match. So first kill of the season for Umbreon. Umbreon kills Jinx with foul play. So first kill of the match goes to Umbreon, and Umbreon's first battle of the season. Umbreon's putting in the work, and you can see how, I think Umbreon was the right thing to have a sleep there, because I was guaranteed to survive the turns of sleep. Even if he had landed 2 Focus Blasts, it would have been fine. So Umbreon's okay here. So we are now he's going to try to figure out, does he go into Finny? And I think what he thinks is that Finny would bait in my Venusaur, and he's right. And it would be a free safe switch into Venusaur. So now he's got the Weezing here, and Weezing can status me as well. But Sludge Bomb's doing nothing. Foul Play is doing relatively nothing. He could just go for a Toxic, and I really don't care to be Toxic on this thing. My Venusaur hasn't Mega Evolved, which I don't love. So it's not going to be able to eat up like a Flamethrower as well as it otherwise would. Let's take a look at what a Flamethrower from Weezing does, though. So Fire Blast to a regular Venusaur is only doing like 40%. And then once I Mega Evolve, it's doing like nothing. And it's a pretty safe switch into Venusaur here. Because he can't, he can Will-O-Wisp, and I have knockoff, so I don't really want to do Will-O-Wisp, but it is a free knockoff after that. Unless he's like, what if he's like Firium Z, Fire Blast, to a regular Venusaur? What is that looking like? That's doing like 70%. All right. So I kind of want to see what he's going to do. Toxic would be unfortunate, but I'm just going to click Moonlight. Just to see. If he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, then he burns himself, which is great. And then I just have the Heal Bell anyway, so even if he goes for Toxic. Goes for the Infestation. So this is the Pokemon he wanted to be in against, apparently. But he can't stall me with that forever. He can't just Toxic stall because I have Heal Bell. And so I don't mind that so much. We'll see if he has Black Sludge here. I would assume so, as we go for the Foul Play. But I have Moonlight, Heal Bell, and so I will just slowly whittle this thing down. So he goes for the Sludge Bomb. So if he gets the poison, he gets the poison. He doesn't get it, so at this point we can, it looks like, safely go for another Foul Play before we go for our Moonlights, just to maximize the Moonlights. And we will do another 20%. I didn't see Black Sludge, I don't think, but I wasn't looking. Let me look this time. So we got Leftovers. And he does not have Black Sludge. So let me make a note of that. I don't know what item this thing has, but it's not Black Sludge. So we're going to go for the Moonlight here. Obviously, letting this Umbreon go down right now is a foolish thing to do. And since he doesn't bring the Rain, the Moonlight and the Synthesis will both be doing 50%, which is great. So he's trying to get this poison right here, and he may get it. He does get it, and that's okay. Synchronize isn't going to work, but I do have Heal Bell for later. But I'm just trying to wait for the Infestation to disappear, and then I'll switch out. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep clicking Moonlight until the Infestation disappears. And because I really don't want this Umbreon going down quite yet. I think it can really wall a Rotom Heat. It keeps Zapdos in line. Let's actually take a look at this Zapdos against my Umbreon out of curiosity. It could have Heat Wave. Foul Play is doing 30% if it's like max HP. And so Umbreon's, it's poisoned, but it's not toxic. I actually want to Toxic this Zapdos before I switch out. I don't know what he wants to do to me. Goes for the Drill Peck. So it's a physical Zapdos. That's interesting. Was not expecting that. And did we miss? Or did we land it? I'm pretty sure we missed our Toxic right there. Once again, was not looking. But we missed our Toxic. Let's just go for it again. Goes for the Volt Switch. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. This thing being Toxic would have been so nice. But now he gets a free switch into Finny. Or anything. I should have just switched out there. That's alright. Maybe. Honestly, that thing being Toxic would have been huge. And we would have still been at like a decent amount of health. And it would have been safe to go for a Moonlight there. Instead, we Toxic nothing. So, great. But he goes on to Vileplume here. And we are getting hurt. And so we have to switch out. We know we outspeed the Weezing, so we can say if we can get a safe switch into this thing on the Weezing, we can Moonlight again. I don't know what this Vileplume wants to do to a Lucario. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea what Vileplume does to Lucario. Unless he has like HP Fire. And a Z Stone Edge is doing 70 to 90% from my Lucario set. So it doesn't kill. I could go into Venusaur here. Don't get me wrong on that one. I think that's a safe switch into Venusaur. He can't Sleep Powder. He can't Leech Seed. He can't... Sludge Bomb's not going to do that much. I get my Mega off. I get a knockoff off. So it's a pretty easy switch into Venusaur here. He goes for the Moonblast. That's what he does to Lucario, and that's why I don't go into Lucario here. And he gets the special attack drop, which while not vital, is annoying. But I'm going to click knockoff. Make him think I'm physical, which is good. Obviously, Sludge Bomb only hits the Tapu Fini of the things left. I mean, it hits the Tapu Fini, Zapdos, and Rotom Heat. But I don't really think I stay in much on a Zapdos with Drill Peck because he's obviously predicting my Venusaur. And then Rotom Heat versus Venusaur is not ideal either. But we do get a free knockoff off, and that makes me happy. I like getting knockoffs off. And we get our Mega up, which is great. Definitely want to get the Mega up because then the Fire-type attacks from Rotom Heat don't do as much, and I just get General Bulk, and we get to sit there on something like a Weezing and be able to handle it much, much better. So he does stay in. So does he have, like, Psychic? Does this thing get Psychic? I honestly don't even know what this thing does or gets. But we get a knockoff on this thing. And what are we knocking off? The Black Sludge. So this thing had Black Sludge. He has Hidden Power. Hidden Power what? Flying? So he had Black Sludge on this thing. But we get the knockoff on it. And do I expect him to stay in at this point, seeing how much damage that did? I have to say no. And I think another knockoff is the best play here. He doesn't have his Mega. We haven't seen a Z move yet, but it's good to know if something has a Z move on it. So I'm going to click knockoff again. He does stay in, which is sort of surprising. But we're going to bring this down to 50%. And he does go for a Sludge Bomb. So that does a lot. And at this point, how much does a Sludge Bomb from me do to him? Due to a Vileplume. My Sludge Bomb is doing 44% max. His Sludge Bomb should only be doing 30%. So I don't know why that looked like it did so much. I just click Synthesis here. And take a look at the HP values again, because I wasn't super looking at them last time, just to make sure that I can survive the things that I need to survive. So he goes for another Sludge Bomb. And that does more than I want it to, but I'm going to click Sludge Bomb here myself. He has no Steel types, so Weezing resists, and everything else does not want to handle this. So that'll do not much more than... does it kill from here? If it doesn't kill and he gets the kill on my Venusaur, that's terrible. So I have to click Synthesis, and he knows it. But I don't know if that changes what he does. Obviously, him not having the Black Sludge is really, really big. And me having the Leech Seed later, once this thing is gone, allows me to survive a lot more hits and stuff. So we get to click Sludge Bomb here. I'm pretty sure I outspeed the Weezing, so I can always Synthesis on that. And that does take out Vileplume. So Mega Venusaur is going to get a kill here. And that's really good. So Mega Venusaur kills Vileplume with Sludge Bomb. Alright, so we get a couple of kills on some of the more scary and Pokemon that I wasn't really prepped for, which is good. Because the Pokemon that I'm prepped for, I obviously feel a little bit more confident with. Zapdos comes in, and I want to know how much this thing does with a Drill Peck, because that's not how I type Zapdos doing Drill Peck. How much does Drill Peck do as a Pokemon to me? That's not right. Alright, so Drill Peck does, according to this, if it's a modest nature, which he's not, it would do like up to 48%. So I cannot stay in on this thing. He cannot at all stay in on this thing. He's Pressure, so he could be Defog. I'm not worried about that right now. Umbreon looking less and less necessary throughout this battle. It doesn't really handle a Finny. It doesn't want to take more hits from Rotom Heat. It can take hits from Weezing, but I think Venusaur is more important to take hits from Weezing at this point, since he has not revealed Toxic or anything like that. Goes for the extra Sensory instead of the Drill Peck. So that actually ended up being a really good switch-in. Because at this point, I don't know if he can kill from the range I'm at. And so I can go for a Moonlight if I want to. Do I want to is the question. Or do I want to click Toxic again? Since he no longer has the Vileplume, but he does have the Finny. And Finny's an easy switch. If Finny comes in and I'm at this HP, I just let it go down. If Finny comes in, I think I let it go down no matter what. To be perfectly honest. So I might as well just click Foul Play. and get a little bit of damage on it and kind of get a look at his set. I'm going to click... I'm going to click Moonlight. It's safe, and Umbreon still has some viability left. It's tough when you bring in a Pokemon as death fodder and it survives, because now you're like, do I want to keep it? He may kill. So he has Thunderbolt. So we've seen his whole set. So that's really good. And Umbreon's going to go down. So Zapdos is going to kill Umbreon. Zapdos kills Umbreon with Thunderbolt. Now, I don't think this is a timid Zapdos. And this is one thing Lucario was brought for. Because Stone Edge Okos... Z Stone Edge Okos, but a Heat Wave... Well, he doesn't have Heat Wave. We know he has no Heat Wave. So we can look at his set as Thunderbolt, Drill Peck. Thunderbolt's only doing 80% to Lucario. So that's got to be his strongest attack. Extra Sensory. Because they're all neutral. So Thunderbolt's doing 80% to Lucario. And I think it's at this point that we click Z, Rockium Z. I don't think he expects that. I just don't see him expecting a Rockium Z Lucario set. And if he does somehow... Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Is this Lucario not holding... It's not holding an item. Okay, so I don't have the Rockium Z this week. So we just click Stone Edge. That is what it is. So he is timid. He does outspeed, so that's fine. So we get a Stone Edge off. And that's just going to almost Oko this thing. And then we can click Extreme Speed. And so we don't have the Rockium Z, so that's fun. That would have Oko'd, and it wouldn't have made me nervous that the Stone Edge was going to miss. But it ends up being the same. I would be at the same amount of HP. I obviously wouldn't have revealed Extreme Speed here, but I wouldn't have had an item after this move anyway. So it ends up netting equal. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Like, it's not like I'm cheating or anything. I just don't have the item. Lucario kills Zapdos with Extreme Speed. And, yeah, I think it's okay. It ends up not being any different than if I had the Rockium Z on it. Because I would have used it there. I would not have saved it, even though, because I just don't trust, admittedly, I don't trust Stone Edge to hit. I had to click it there, but if I had missed, that would have put me in a really bad spot. So, I outspeed Modest Rotom, so unless he's timid Rotom, I outspeed it. I outspeed Finny if it's not timid and max speed, so I put him in an interesting spot. He could go into the Finny here. I expect him to go into the Finny here. He goes to the Weezing. That's interesting. So what do we do about Weezing? Do we save Lucario for anything? Lucario doesn't... I mean, it has Poison Jab for the Finny if the Finny isn't, like, timid or Choice Scarfed or anything. And I don't hit this Weezing hard with any move, so... I could switch out into my Venusaur, which is a relatively safe switch. I could just stay in and let this Lucario go down after clicking Close Combat. He could go for a Will-O-Wisp here. So I could go out into Infernape, but he could go for a Sludge Bomb, and that's not a good switch in then. The Infernape having Gunk Shot for the Finny is really, really important. So I'm just going to... Does Close Combat or does Stone Edge do more? Because I don't necessarily need the damage here. So Stone Edge is doing 50%. Really? Oh, that's Z Stone Edge. Yeah, we don't have that. So it's doing 30%. Close Combat's doing negligibly less, and I like the accuracy. So we're just going to click Close Combat here. And we'll do about 30%. And that's fine. And we'll see. If he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, I actually end up in... I get to get another one off. He goes for the Thunderbolt. That's not the move I was expecting him to go for. Okay, so yeah, he's going to take me out. So Wheezing kills Lucario with Thunderbolt. And at this point I can go out into Venusaur pretty safely. I can also go out into Gardevoir super safely. He's only got special attackers left, so Gardevoir can put in a ton of work. I can also go out into Latias really, really safely and click Calm Mind. And then Thunderbolt, Tapu Fini, Thunderbolt Wheezing, and Draco the Rotom Heat. So I think that's where we're at. I think it's time for Latias to come in. Obviously, he's got to expect me to go for like a Psychic type attack, which I don't actually have, which is fine. I am technically going for a Psychic type attack if you count Calm Mind as a Psychic type attack. So what is he going to go for here? Infestation? Toxic? Like, what do you go for? Because I could have easily subbed in your face right there. He goes for the Shadow Ball. So he's got the coverage here. But Shadow Ball is not going to do much. And as long as it doesn't get the special defense drop, which it doesn't, I can set up another one if I want to. I'm not sure a +1 Thunderbolt takes out a Tapu Fini. And obviously it's not going to take out a Rotom with a Thunderbolt. But Tapu Fini, if I'm at +1, Thunderbolt doesn't OHKO. It's a guaranteed 2 at KO from there. So I have to, if I'm at +2, does it OHKO? Do I have to get to +2 or +3? +2 is a 25% chance to OHKO. I actually like those odds. So I'm going to go for a second Calm Mind. And if he decides to, if he Shadow Balls again, I think my play is just to click Recover at that point. Which he does just Shadow Ball again, although I may not even need to. So I'm at 50%. Yeah, I'm just going to click Thunderbolt here on this Wheezing and take it out. And so Wheezing's going to go down. At this point, Latias kills Wheezing with Thunderbolt. Alright, I forgot I put the Life Orb on this thing, so I have to put that on my set. Oh, now Thunderbolt's okay. Okay. So he's got the Rotom here. And I'm at +2, and a +2 Draco is doing all of the damage to this thing. Now, admittedly, I can just Recover in his face and Thunderbolt him to death eventually. But I like just clicking +2 Draco. Goes for Sucker Punch. So if I had Recovered in his face there, that would have been amazing. I survived the Sucker Punch. He's Life Orbed. Wow. Sucker Punch Rotom Heat. But I am going to go down to my own Life Orb recoil here, but I'm going to take out the Rotom with me. So this Latias has now killed itself twice. Latias kills Rotom Heat with Draco Meteor, and then Latias dies to Life Orb recoil. So so Latias goes down. So now we have Infernape with Gunk Shot, Venusaur with Sludge Bomb, and Gardevoir with Thunderbolt, all against Tapu Fini. So Gardevoir, what are you looking like here against how do you handle it? If he's Specs, Hydro Pump's not a guaranteed 2 at KO. So I kind of like the Gardevoir look first, but I also want to. I think the Gunk Shot from. No, I think it's a better bailout option. Also, what it does is it gives me the Trace now as opposed to later, so I don't reset the Misty Terrain, and then I can maybe poison him on things if I have to, if it comes down to that. So my Gardevoir is outspeeding it, which is fun information. And so I get my Misty Terrain up. You don't get your Misty Terrain up. I get my Misty Terrain up. So I could Moonblast, since it's no matter what not going to be a 2 KO. And then try to get the special attack drop, which I think is actually probably the best play. And so I can Moonblast, and then from there I can proceed to either Moonblast again. I think I Moonblast a second time, and then I click Energy Ball. So this is going to do very, very little. So he reveals Muddy Water and Leftovers. Leftovers, Muddy Water. So I can actually, at this point, I'm just going to click Thunderbolt. So just to guarantee that I get the 2-shot from there. So that'll be, he could lower my accuracy. If he does so, that's okay. From this range, anything from anyone's going to kill. So all I need to do is not miss every move ever. Now, one thing I could do is switch my Gardevoir out, switch it back in later, like just go out into Venusaur. But I'm just going to go with Gardevoir for now. If Gardevoir gets hit twice more and doesn't land, then I'll switch it out. But we do get the kill on the Tapu Fini. And that is going to do it. So we end up with another 3-0 victory here. So let me mark down Gardevoir. Gardevoir kills Tapu Fini with Thunderbolt. There were so many Thunderbolt kills this game, guys. Just a heads up, Zapdos killed Umbreon with Thunderbolt. Weezing killed Lucario with Thunderbolt. Latias killed Weezing with Thunderbolt. And then Gardevoir killed Tapu Fini with Thunderbolt. So lots of Thunderbolting today. But your New York Empoleon are now 2-0 in the league. Good game, Soul. Thank you so much for that battle. Good luck with the rest of the league. I will see you again later in the season. And I'm sure that this team will not be something that I can just use over and over and over. So great game, Soul. Thank you so much for joining the league, for being a part of the TBL Season 2. And to anyone else who's a New York Empoleon fan, I think this team's going to bring us all the way, guys. So let's get pumped. Let's get excited. Next week, we have a bit of a conundrum. The person who was supposed to be the coach of the team that I'm playing has dropped out of the league due to familial issues. So we're trying to resolve that, but stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, guys, I'm pretty excited about this. So I'll see you guys next week for the team builder, and I hope you guys are well until then. So take care, everybody.